Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Narito po tayo sa ating, of course, group discussion sa araw nito. First time ho natin gagawin to at para sa akin, tumataba pa puso ko dahil isa pong, number one, at tinista pa naman to. Nakasama ko ngayon. This is a journey. Ito masasabi ko, a journey from where? From Montessori times, okay, to college in Ateneo, okay, and then heading to Massachusetts for his very, very much love music. Please welcome Gerard Salonga.
Thank you, Mike. It's good to be here.
Journey nga. Journey yun.
Malayo yun.
Malayo yun. Well, of course, ano pa lang siya. It's just part of your entire life.
Yeah, and that what seemed like a long journey. It's actually just the beginning. But yeah. Nice little road that I've taken so far.
Well, music is in your blood. You started what?
5 on the piano. Gaya-gaya lang kay Leia. She was the one taking piano lessons first.
Okay.
She was 7.
Okay.
I was 5. Mami, gusto ko rin, you know. So, okay, sige, start ka. So, I started taking piano lessons every week.
And so, ano ka lang, parang tag-along ka lang lagi?
Gaya-gaya lang talaga.
Okay.
Kasi mukhang ini-enjoy niya eh.
Okay.
Siyempre, maiinggit ka, di ba? Pag bata, kita mo, ni-enjoy ng kapatid mo. Gusto mo rin, ikaw rin.
And then she went into television.
Yeah.
And you both had a show.
We had a television show when we were kids. It was called Love Leia. On the then MBS4 pa.
Correct.
Diba?
Correct.
Ngayon, ABS-CBN na siya. Every day yun. For the time we were live.
Okay.
Every day at 5:30 p.m.
Every day?
Oh, Monday to
Live?
Friday yun.
Oh my
Then
goodness.
after a while, it was taped na. We taped on weekends.
Okay.
Para didn't have to go to work every night. But for a while, it was
And how long
live.
did it last?
I think it went around 3 years. Mahaba-haba rin. Got a lot of experience. A lot of experience for television and speaking to people, speaking in front of a camera. It was a good deal, and a lot of the hosting, emceeing that I do now as a conductor and when we have an audience, that really helped.
Wow.
Yeah, laking bagay na.
So yung interpersonal skills mo from that time when you were young to today, you actually took that.
Yeah, that's where I started to learn how to speak in front of a camera and to give a spiel. Di ba? Spiel eh. Between mga kanta, mag-spiel ka.
Correct.
Yun, doon ako nasanay.
So from that time onwards, you took piano lessons all the way?
Yeah, from 5 years old until around 10 or 11, I was taking piano lessons. And then after that, na-addict ako sa golf eh.
Oh, golfer ka ba?
Yeah, because
Okay.
my dad was a very avid golfer.
Okay.
So he introduced me to golf, and I took it very seriously for a while. Sumali ako sa junior golf. I joined my international tournaments, ganun. But by high school, na-realize ko that wasn't going to be my path. Kasi there's, like any other sport, there's a definite talent element. Loving it and working hard at it, they're great.
Yes.
But you also have to be talented. Diba? Kulang yun. Having just the talent
Yun
or
yung
just
plus
the
mo.
diligence.
That's the plus, right?
Yeah, and these guys I was playing with were just so good, and I couldn't follow them.
Okay.
So there was a time that I wasn't really sure. Okay, what am I gonna be? But I knew I loved writing. I loved journalism. I loved writing short stories. Loved writing essays. So I entered Ateneo as an English literature major.
Wow.
Oo.
Okay.
So pagpasok ko ng Ateneo College, English Lit, okay, go. I wanted to be Max Sullivan or something. I really that's what I wanted to be someone like him.
Ano ka na talaga? You had a target.
Yeah, I wanted to be Teddy Benigno and Max Sullivan. I idolized these people, the way they wrote. So I went in there. Around second year college, I started joining musical theater productions in school.
Okay.
Playing or musical direction, whatever. I joined Ateneo Blue Repertory, did some stuff with them, and I said, wow, I really love doing this. I really, really want to do this for the rest of my life. So at the time, Leia was working a lot with Ryan Kayabyab,
Yes,
Mr.
that's
C. We call him Mr. C. I go, Mr. C, paano ba to? Anong gagawin ko dito? Okay. He said, there are several schools you can attend. Of course, there's UP or in the States you can go. But after you finish in Ateneo, come see me.
Okay.
and we'll work something out. Okay. So after I graduated, I went to him and he goes, okay, in music school, if you're going to study music seriously, it's going to be a lot of stuff that you like, and there's going to be stuff that you don't like or may not like, like music history, music theory, ganon. Hindi lahat yan, jamingan lang. Diba?
Okay.
So okay, sit in my theory class and let's see how it goes. All right. So I sat in not having studied any music theory prior, I sat in his second year music theory class. This was harmony, so you analyze Bach chorales and stuff. And then there's solfege, yung sight singing, kakantahin mo yung nakasulat. And then dictation. Tututog siya at susulatin mo yung tututog.
Wow.
Yeah. So those are the
Okay,
three.
you gotta have good ear.
Yeah. So the dictation was just easy.
Okay.
Because I've always been playing by ear.
Okay.
So there was no problem. All these kids couldn't do it. I could do it so much better than anybody else. The solfege, that was hard because I'd never done it before. And then the analysis. But after about 3 or 4 weeks, I was already at their level and surpassing.
And you were
some.
just sitting in.
Yeah, pero yung sit-in ko seryoso. May class card ako.
Totoo.
Talagang tinutuon niya. Ginigrade niya yung trabaho ko. I really took it
Seriously.
Like I was really enrolled. A lot of the kids there actually thought I was enrolled dahil nga may class card ako. So I had a lot of classmates who are, accomplished musicians now, colleagues now.
Okay.
But there was a time na ang tawag nila sa akin doon is tenga na tinubuan ng tao. Because sa dictation, talagang pinapapak ko yung dictation.
Iyon na yun.
Yeah. So, okay. So I sabi ko, yeah, I can do this. Okay, pwede ka na. I applied for Berklee College of Music in Boston.
That's outstanding.
It's great. We picked that because, what Berklee does is prepare students for a livelihood in music.
So it's not just being a professional musician, but the profession itself.
Yeah, the profession of music. And because my thought back then was, I'm going to live in the Philippines. I never thought about living anywhere else or working anywhere else. In the Philippines, if you're going to have any sort of life, if you want to have send your kids to a good school or have a decent life as a musician, you have to be able to do
the professional side.
Commercial music.
Yes, correct.
I mean, it's there. Commercials, films, arranging for pop singers, whatever. And if you want to do other things, at least you're enabled, in your life financially by these.
May pagkukunan ka.
Yeah.
Di ba?
You can.
Tapos nun, if you can do whatever on the side that you're passionate with pa rin, you can do it.
Yeah. So that's sort of the mindset I had at that time. No? All right. So yeah, sure. Why not? And besides, Berklee, aside from all those things, they really breed musical excellence anyway into you. It's an important part of Berklee to be a good musician and not just someone who has the skills to score films and whatever. You got to be a good musician.
Okay.
So I went there. Took the 4-year course, finished it in 2.5 years. Wow. Kasi may mga advanced placement tests.
Okay.
You can go ahead and take that, save money, save some time.
Okay.
So I really did all of that.
And you privately funded this?
Si Leia nagbayad ng tuition.
Thank you, ate. Thank you, ate.
At least in the States, kasi you have to at least pay for the first semester.
Correct. Oo.
After that, I was getting scholarship money na.
Okay.
Based on merit. No? I was already winning. I was getting cash back.
Okay.
Because my grades were good. I really got fabulous grades there. Out of the 6 semesters I stayed there, 4 of them was 4 pare. I mean,
wow.
Yeah. So
Dean's list na ha? Dean's list.
I was never out of the Dean's list. Every semester I was there, I was on.
Amazing.
And 4 of those semesters were 4.
Wow.
4.0 talaga.
Wow.
So I did well academically.
Well, you were burning eyebrows every day.
Hindi naman. It felt like fun. It said that it was music.
Yeah.
And not theology and philosophy. It just, everything felt like, I love this.
Wow.
So I was using up a lot of energy, but it didn't feel tiring. It didn't feel like a job because it was about music. Okay lang kahit ano pa yan, it was music. So I did very, very well academically, and then after that, I graduated, of course, summa cum laude, and then I got a job in LA working as a copyist and proofreader and orchestrator. Got to work on some cartoons at Warner Brothers.
Wow.
Yeah. At the time, live orchestra pa eh.
Okay.
I reached the time the tail end of when the Batman TV series, Superman, Pinky and the Brain, Animaniacs, they were still being done with live orchestra every day.
Amazing.
And then, 2 or 3 months into my stay in LA, nag-stop, tas naging synthesizers na. So I got to reach that transition.
So you actually saw it from its peak, really,
Well,
all the way
tail end
to
na.
tail end na siya.
The peak kasi was in the 60s and the 70s.
No, but in terms of meaning daily recording.
Every day, pare.
Every day.
My live orchestra done every day. So Warner Brothers, recording all this stuff.
And you did that thing, copying and all that stuff in Los Angeles. How long did it last?
For a year.
For a year.
Because Filipino students, citizens studying in the U.S., the INS grants you 365 days to work in whatever related to your field. And I sinimot ko yung
365
na yan.
Hindi mo pwedeng may leap year. Na kahit sa araw lang.
Sinimot ko yun. I even stayed a little bit longer. And then, nag-change status ako. Stayed a little longer. And then went back home.
How was your feeling going back home now? Because you were working with big names.
Pero, there comes a point where you're working as a copyist and orchestrator, and they're the ones arranging and they're the ones conducting. So, yeah, it's nice, you're learning. And then, makakaroon ng point na biglang, habang tatrabaho ko dyan, maiinip ka, gusto mo ikaw na yung nag-arrange at ikaw na yung nagko-conduct. It will come to that point.
Okay. And when did that happen in your 365 years?
Halfway through. Parang, okay, alam ko nang gawin to. Gusto ko na gawin
It's my time.
Oh, I want to do that one na. So, I went till the end of it. When I got home, it was perfect timing. Leia was planning a Millennium concert. This was 1999 So, meron siyang December 31, 1999 na concert with an orchestra and lots of arrangements that needed to be done. I got home mid-November of 99 and started working on that. So, when I got home, all I had to do is wait for my stuff na Johnny Cargo to come back to Manila. Once I got all my stuff and set up, man, I was running na.
And what was it feeling like? Wasn't it deja vu? Diba? Kasi magkasama kayo dati dun sa Love Leia.
Yeah.
And then now you're actually conducting the whole orchestra for her.
Pero we worked together constantly naman
Okay.
Even when I was in high school, pag may kailangan siyang pianista somewhere, I would still play for her. So that was constant. The first time I accompanied her, I was 7. And then, tuloy-tuloy, anywhere she needed me, I would be there accompanying her.
Okay.
So, working with her in that sense, it wasn't a big shock or anything like that.
Okay.
We were always doing that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So from that time onwards, ganda naman ang pasok mo after 365 days in Los Angeles.
Gig na kaagad.
Ang millennium gig pa.
Gig. So, it was a good way to get into the industry. Pero syempre, with that and Leia's couple of concerts afterwards, in my mind, parang tatagal ba ako sa industriya nito if it's just Leia that I'm working with. So, really, the spark for me sa Philippine industry was when Regine Velasquez hired me to work for her.
Wow.
That was it. Because Leia, it's working with Leia, it's great. But Leia's my sister And in everybody's
There's
mind...
that connectivity pa rin, that affinity.
In everybody's mind, kapatid ko si Leia. O kapatid ako ni Leia. Depends how you look at it.
Yes.
And then in the middle of 2000, I got a call from Regine if I wanted to be musical director for her concert in the Westin Philippine Plaza pa yung tawag doon. I go, siyempre. So I arranged a lot of songs for her. And it became a very good selling CD of that concert.
Okay.
Yung Songbird Sings the Classics.
Oh, yes. I remember that.
It went how many platinum and it did very, very well as a concert. And I did lots of shows with her after that. So it was that period when she hired me that I really got into the industry because all of a sudden everyone goes, uy, number one, he can work with people other than Leia. Because for a while, there was this thing that he only works with Leia.
Typecast, no?
Oh. Or he only does orchestra music.
Correct.
But Regine is popular music.
Correct.
So that was a big thing. I really owe her a debt of gratitude for for trusting me that early in my career there. She took a chance, but it worked out great. And because of her, it opened the floodgates for all sorts of other things. Different singers suddenly took interest, did a lot of work with Lani Misalucha as well, and traveled around the world with her. Did a lot of stuff, and I traced that back to her hiring me, and that created an effect for me. It was very good.
So now I wouldn't really call it a transition, but you're actually doing also from pop to big orchestras and so on and so forth. And, yung sort of your things that you've gone through the orchestras is fascinating. I mean, from Malaysia to Australia to Hong Kong. Now you're sitting as the assistant conductor now for the Hong Kong Philharmonic. How do you feel that? I mean, being a Filipino na you're being captured by all these virtuosos in their own right. Ikaw yung mga hawak ng baton. How do you put that together?
Well, it's with Hong Kong Phil, it's unique because I've been working with them for such a long time. Leia opened that door, actually. The first time I worked with Hong Kong Phil was in 2008 when they invited Leia to perform. I conducted. That's where I met them. And right away, I felt such a strong
bond
connection with the orchestra. Oh, it's a human thing. It's not anymore a music thing. It's human to human. Sometimes someone will turn you on. Sometimes someone will turn you off. And I just became friends with them right away. They're just such great people. And I'm very much a people guy. And actually, I'm so much of a people guy that the first thing I did before I worked with them, I remembered everybody's names. I memorized the names of all the members of the orchestra.
Okay.
Because for me, that was the best way for me to take away the intimidation factor. That this guy isn't the principal cellist. He's a guy, and his name is Richard. So my being starstruck by their ability and their virtuosity was sort of controlled by the fact that I could see them as people, as men and women with names. And I think it worked both ways too. It also helped them warm up to me a little bit because I wasn't calling them by their designation. I was calling them by their name.
Personal.
And who doesn't like that?
That's right. That's right.
So we became friends very quickly, and a lot of my best friends in my life are in this orchestra. Yeah, a lot of good, really good people here, and I think it has to do with that. The orchestra is a largely expat population. There's a lot of expats, and they tend to stick together.
Correct.
There's a lot of love, So it's for me, my relationship with them. I'll never have that sort of relationship with anybody else. I don't think. It's so unique here, and just my friendship and my bond with people here is we know each other so well. I know the orchestra so well. It's just something I can't do anywhere else.
So the connection is really
there's a
there's a certain
telepathic
high level na.
Yeah, I can look at someone, he'll give me a flick of an eyebrow, and I'll know what they mean because I've been hanging out with this guy for how many years already.
Correct.
Yeah, it's like that.
But how do you schedule that now? Because you're also involved in other stuff. I mean, ABS-CBN also.
I'm the music director of ABS-CBN Philharmonic, which is a fully professional, full-time orchestra. Well, when I got the job in Hong Kong, I looked at the schedule. Luckily, there are two of us having the same position here in Hong Kong.
Okay.
Vivian Ip, who's a local Hong Kong conductor, who lives in Vienna, but spends time here for Hong Kong Phil. So pareho kaming labas-pasok. And we share the job. So it's good. It's lighter than it would have been if I were alone.
Okay.
So I can also spend a lot of time in the Philippines, and they don't have to feel my absence as much. We can plan it. The schedule here is planned way in advance. So the 2 or 3 weeks that I spend at a time that I hear 5 or 6 times in the season, we can map those out and make sure. And while they're planning that, I also tell them, "Hey, I can't do this one in Hong Kong because I have something in Manila." And they're very flexible. They're very good about that. Okay, I'll take you off this one, but can you take this one instead? So I might have had a 2-week stint here, but a 5-week stint there because of moving the weeks around. But it works out okay.
Oh, that's good. But of course, with all these things that we're talking about you professionally, you're of course a regular dad.
Yes.
Right? And Hong Kong has a very, very strong connection to you.
Personally,
Aside from the Philharmonic and you and Leia coming in here probably once a year,
Yeah.
doing maybe 4 or 5 shows, not only for the mainstream but also for the Filipino community. How are you, Dad?
Well, Hong Kong has a very special place. Has a very special place in my heart because my wife was born here. She's a Hong Kong resident. She was born in Kowloon and lived here. Went to school here, studied the violin here until she was about 11, and then moved to the Philippines. My mother-in-law, her mother was a school teacher, a science teacher here, and her father was an active Hong Kong freelance musician. So she and her 3 siblings lived in Jordan, like a lot of other Filipino musician families, and yeah, they made their life here. So she comes back with me as much as possible when I come here, and if she can go in and out. I mean, she's a citizen. She's a permanent resident. We haven't worked out whether we want to live here or not, but the option is always there because she can just live here anytime. She has right to abode.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. My 2 kids and her, they all live in Manila. And we try to make it so that if it's a holiday, school holiday, the kids are here with me. Like this coming Christmas and New Year's, they'll all be here.
Ah, that's very good.
So I'm conducting the Christmas Eve of Hong Kong Phil.
Ah.
So they'll be here
Okay.
until New Year's. Tapos uwi kami ng January 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, how do you schedule both of that? Is your wife also musically inclined?
She's a high-level violinist. She's active freelancer in the Philippines. So she can't always come here with me. But we try to do it, balance it. So if I have a long stay here, like 4 weeks, maybe 2 weeks, hahatiin ko yan by going home, coming back, or pupunta sa dito. Try not to spend too much time away from the children, especially for me. Like, nangungulila talaga ako eh. I'm not used to until now, I'm still not used to being away from
even
them.
for those short moments?
For a long period of time, 2 weeks, mahaba na yan para sa akin. So, I try to go home. Buti na lang, the trip to Manila from Hong Kong is shorter than the trip to ABS-CBN from my house.
Ganun daw yung nangyayari ngayon sa atin. Di ba? Mas 3 oras mula sa bahay mo hanggang ABS.
3 oras.
Ito at 1 oras kalahati lang.
1 oras kalahati lang nasa metro na ako. Mas malapit pa ang Hong Kong kaysa ABS.
Grabe,
Kung tutuusin. So, nakaka-spoil talaga dito sa Hong Kong eh. I mean, with the MTR and I can schedule, like when I said to you this morning, kita-kita tayo ng 9:30. Ayun nyo kasi, alis ako ng 9:05.
Punta yun, ano?
Oo. Paglabas ko ng exit, 9:30.
Ito.
Diba? Pwede mo talagang kwentahin down to the minute.
Sa atin, pag ganun yun,
Sa atin, kailangan mag-iwan ka ng 90 minutes leeway kasi hindi mo alam kung ano mangyayari sa'yo.
Correct.
Diba? Paplanuhin mong dumating ng 3 o'clock, halimbawa, sa Makati. Isasabihin ng Waze sa'yo, umalis ka ng 1 o'clock. Akala mo, dating ka ng 3. By 1:45, 2 o'clock, sabihin sa'yo, arrival mo is 3:45.
May 45 minutes na yun.
Diba? Nawalan ka ng
45 minutes.
Ang daming oras ng buhay mo nawawala. While you're sitting there in traffic, kitang-kita mo yung buhay mo nawawala. Your life is leaving you. Gumagano'n, umaalis dun sa kotse mo yung life mo. Parang all this...
Parang ang dami ko na nagawa dun sa 45 minutes na yun.
Saan nagawa. Dito, one thing I love about here is
the transport system.
Pwede mong simutin yung araw mo, get the most out of it. Because you can plan things down to the minute. Diba? And you can really set aside 15 minutes para mag-Starbucks.
Correct.
And then, okay, I'll spend 15 minutes, pero yung 45 na extra sa hour ko, I can get so much stuff done.
Correct.
Kaya tuloy parang ang haba-haba ng araw dito. Kasi minimal time is spent commuting eh. Diba?
Correct.
Sa lahat ng tao, nagmamadali pa. So, hindi ka pwede maglakad ng mabaho.
Kasi tutulak ka na mga
So, okay talaga. I mean, you really learn about efficiency. Yun ang problema. Pag uwi mo, tapos nandiyan ka na naman sa traffic. Wow.
It really eats you up. Kinakain ka talaga.
Ingit ka sa home.
Doon na lang ako! May plano. So, what is it for your family and Gerard Salonga in the next, 5 years?
Well, of course, my future with Hong Kong Phil is always uncertain. As far as being an assistant conductor is concerned, I mean, no one really lasts too long in that job. You eventually want to
move on.
But it's just the time I'm spending with them. It's just been so fantastic for me, And working with Yap, of course, is just, I've been learning so much from the guy. I mean, I never formally studied conducting kasi.
Okay.
So for all these years, I've been looking for a proper mentor. And
you got
wow,
one.
I found a good one. And not just him, even the other musicians are serving as mentors to me. They're acting as every bit of advice I get for them is a bit of mentoring from them. So it's really been like a school. I mean, there's no school where I can get what I'm getting from Hong Kong Phil.
Correct.
No. At sinisweldohan pa ako. Yeah, that's the best part.
May mentor ka na, sinisweldohan ka pa.
Mentor ka na, may aral ka na, sinisweldohan ka pa. Pero next few years, I just hope to continue what I'm doing and gain more experience conducting all these great orchestras around. I mean, I'm returning to the Sydney Symphony in February at the Sydney Opera House.
Wow.
So that's going to be a great. That's going to be
amazing.
great. We're going to be doing some really good music. A new work by an Australian composer named Lachlan Skipworth. He's doing a piece for taiko ensemble, taiko drums, and symphony orchestra. Brand new work. It'll be the first time anyone's ever heard it, and I'll be the guy conducting it.
Wow.
So nice. And then I'm doing some work with the Singapore Symphony next year, which is great. The Malaysian Philharmonic as well. So I'm getting these good relationships happening, and hopefully I can just continue. And next week, I'm conducting a serious concert with the Philippine Philharmonic for the first time. And that's my state orchestra, tax-funded orchestra natin sa Pilipinas yan. So that's a very special thing for me as well.
Well, gaya na nabanggit po natin, we're privileged, no? For our first interview sa ating YouTube channel. No, definitely not the last. Babalik ka dito. Whether we interview you or not, you're very much welcome here.
Thank you.
Sabi ko nga, it's an opportunity, and it's nice to hear the full life, no? From the OB Montessori to the Berklee to where he is now. Amazing. Of course, hindi lang siya kumbaga kasama o laging katabi ng kanyang kapatid na si Lea Salonga. And we've got the better of Gerard Salonga here. Maraming salamat, and we'll catch you again soon. Gerard, thank you.
Thanks, Mike.